Hi, Dr. Ariane from the Movement Paradigm. Today I'm going to talk about 5 simple vagus nerve hacks that you can do at the comfort of your own desk. Now, this does not replace getting up and moving. However, this can be a very quick way to regulate your nervous system no matter what the situation. Please make sure to take the time to check out all of my other videos on vagus nerve exercises and understanding a little bit more about the vagus nerve, because today's video is really going to be focused on these simple 5 techniques. Number 1 is an all-time favorite of mine as well as all of my patients and clients, which is called the Salamander. This is a version of Stanley Rosenberg's exercise, Salamander, but I've combined them and found it to be very effective for so many people, whether they're experiencing neck tightness and neck decreased range of motion, mobility, pain, stiffness, and vagus nerve issues or nervous system dysregulation. So this exercise is quite simple. You're interlacing your fingers. You're going to bring your hands right behind the back of your head on the occipital area. From here, you're going to side bend your upper body and you're going to look with your eyes the opposite direction. If this feels uncomfortable for you for any reason, if it's causing any headache, eye pain, dizziness, then just modify your vision so that you're not looking really intensely, but actually quite the opposite, a very soft gaze. You're going to hold this position for approximately 30 seconds. You're going to come back to center. You're going to switch to the other side. So again, side bending the upper body, make sure your face is forward, and then looking to the opposite direction with your eyes gently. And you're going to hold this for 30 seconds. You might, just as I did, feel a sigh, swallow, or yawn, which is a sign of relaxation of the nervous system. You could also feel a sense of calmness. I would encourage you to test your range of motion before you do the exercise and after, because you will see an immediate improvement. How this exercise is working is that we are putting in input via our hand as well as neurological input from our eyes to the back of the head, i.e. the brainstem, where the vagus nerve and the spinal accessory nerve exist. So when we're bringing blood flow to this area, we're stimulating the vagus nerve and the spinal accessory nerve so that it can relax our neck, most importantly, as well as relax our nervous system. Number 2 is salivating. This is one of my favorites because no one knows what you're doing, but it can be quite effective, and it's an exercise that I call a self-limiting vagus nerve exercise, meaning there's nothing that can necessarily go wrong and it can only be positive. So with this, just being able to generate a copious amount of saliva is in fact a parasympathetic response. If you have trouble generating this saliva, then that can indicate that you might be in a little bit of a fight or flight state. So sometimes it's a little work to do that, but I'm just going to talk through how you can proceed. So first, you want to think about placing the tongue at the roof of your mouth and pressing against the roof of your mouth. Keep pressing against the teeth. That should already start to generate a little bit of saliva. You can also think about something like a juicy lemon or orange, something that might sound appealing to you, that might also drive some saliva production. When you're able to generate this, even if it's slow, even if it takes a little bit of time, just keep in mind that the process of it itself is in fact parasympathetic. But once you're able to get the saliva produced, then you want to actually just bathe your tongue in the saliva. So you're just letting it bathe, and then ultimately you will swallow, which is a sign of relaxation, as I once said, of the nervous system. So we have the pharyngeal branch of the vagus nerve that's innervating the back of the throat. So we are stimulating this, and again, it typically is a self-limiting exercise, so it's really beneficial and easy to do. The next one is a basic breathing technique. So although there are many, and once again, you can feel free to check out a lot of my videos on breathing, this one I'm going to talk about a short inhale and an extended exhale. So when we're thinking of all the different breathing techniques, there's 4-7-8 breathing, there's box breathing, and they are all beneficial in their own way, but it is important to do the right breathing technique for you in the right situation. So if we are just looking to calm down, so for example, you're at work, you're kind of a little bit anxious because you have so many things to do, and you just want to calm your system down, then this is a great way to do it. If you feel like I'm getting ready for this meeting and I need to be calm but focused and alert, you might choose something like box breathing, for example. This technique, when we think about a small inhale, so if we're thinking about a distance, you can think about breathing in about 1 centimeter to 2 centimeters, and then an extended exhalation. So I'm going to do that. So my exhale was about double my inhale. There's no perfect time, but the extended exhalation is going to stimulate the vagus nerve, and therefore it will release a neurotransmitter, called acetylcholine, and this creates this relaxation response. So the vagus nerve is passing right through the diaphragm. So as we can practice this extended exhalation, it's very effective in calming our nervous system down quickly. However, you may feel that you get a sense of air hunger. So that's your ability to maintain CO2 in the bloodstream. So if you feel like that's happening, just return to your normal breathing, and at least for about a minute, and then you could always come back. But even just doing 3 breaths like that can be really powerful in calming your system. The next one is one of my favorites, which is hand reflexology. So this is going to be from an Eastern medicine perspective as it relates to reflexology. So there are specific reflexology points in the entire body. So for the vagus nerve, there's one on the hand, and then there's also one on the bottom of the foot. So if you're sitting at your desk, this is a really easy one. I've done this in the car. I'll actually use my same hand to do it. So with this, we're going to go on the inside of the pinky. You could do either side. So you're going to come right in here. Okay. And then from this position, you can start with just making slow circles. You can rub back and forth. And then I go a little deeper and then really light, just a feather light here. And you don't have to do all of these techniques. You could just do one. You could do all 3. It's totally up to you. But a quick way, without even using your other hand, is just to use your thumb and just do this. I already had a response, so I will typically swallow right away as my response to that specific technique. But again, it's a really, really nice way to try, right? Everything is about trialing it for you to see if it is effective, but also be patient. Just because you don't have one of those responses does not mean that it's not working. It just might mean that your nervous system isn't responding to that in the moment. And last but not least is the ear pull. So this is a vagus nerve exercise. This is a craniosacral exercise. Really, really powerful technique. So for this, I'll just get a little bit closer here. We're going to essentially grab the ear right here, so right at the earlobe, and you want to think about pulling it back and out. So if I'm looking straight, I'm pulling it back and out this way. So as I'm pulling very gently, might I add, very gently, holding that position. Again, I'm going to have a response almost immediately. So you can hold that there until you have a response. If you're just looking for a time, you can hold it there for about a minute or even 2 minutes. So another technique that you can do in addition to this is come inside of the ear here. So I'm thinking about pushing back this way. And from here, just gently massaging right inside. And so this technique is really powerful because the vagus nerve has branches into the ear, which is one of the direct ways that we're stimulating it. But as a craniosacral technique, by pulling this, it's actually influencing our fluids in our brain. It's actually affecting our membranes. So really, really powerful technique that I've had a lot of positive responses with. So I hope these were helpful. These are some of my favorites, but please make sure, as I mentioned before, to check out all of my vagus nerve exercises and videos. I hope that you will give these a shot, and just remember that this is a way for you to begin to learn about your own nervous system, about how to regulate and how to learn how to control your state of your nervous system. And again, make sure to check out some of the other things. If it was helpful, give it a like, give it a share. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Movement Paradigm, for weekly tips on mindset, nutrition, and movement. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.